Hello everyone. So several months ago I brought my camera with me, one of my cameras with me into work. It was October and I do these things called ghost or spooky pics for your friends, family and co-workers. It's also a side hustle I do for money. And I got a lot of really interesting questions concerning my camera. This model, is the Polaroid now. And the questions range to things like, I didn't think they made film for Polaroid cameras anymore. I thought Polaroid was out of business. Are instant cameras still a thing? And so I thought I'd make this video to talk a little bit about the history of Polaroid and as well talk about, the instant film cameras and everything else like that. Alright, so first off we have to address the technicalities of what these are. Just called instant cameras, but the actual appropriate name for them is self-developing pack film cameras, because the film is self-developing pack film. Well, why is it called that? Well, because it self-develops. That's why you don't have to go to the store. Literally in minutes you can watch it before your eyes develop. And pack film because it's being uncooperative, in a little pack. So that's why it gets its name, self-developing pack film. And it's called despite brands, people just use the term Polaroid because Polaroid was the first company to strike it huge in that space. Specifically the launch of the SX70. That was not the first pack film camera, wasn't even the first one developed by Polaroid. But they had tweaked the chemistry and the design, and it was the first instant camera that the average Joe could use. Of course, you had cameras, cheap cameras that people could just pick up. Like the disposable cameras, those have been around since 1949, I believe. But you couldn't develop those. You had to send them in and mail them to a place or take them to a place to get developed. The SX70 really revolutionized some things. And when I'm looking through folklore or paranormal files, if there's something that happens after 1972, I really kind of got to wonder why they didn't get a photo of it with an SX70 or whatever came afterwards or alongside of it. So, but what happened to the Polaroid Corporation? Well, as you can see, we've got this Wikipedia article up here that has a lot of useful information. For those of you on a smartphone, don't worry, I'm not going to make you read this. So, Polaroid Corporation was declared bankrupt in 2001. Brand assets changed hands multiple times before being sold to a Polish billionaire. This acquisition allowed Impossible Project, which had started producing instant films for older Polaroid cameras in 2008, to rebrand as Polaroid Originals in 2017 and eventually as Polaroid in 2020. And I'm sorry for my careless tongue. I know I flubbed a lot of that. But the space has expanded. There are now dozens of manufacturers making instant cameras. Some that will use the Polaroid film. Others that use a different film I'm going to talk about at the end of all of this. And sorry if I've bored you already. So here you can see two different models of instant cameras I own. The Polaroid Now, which is, a cheap camera, doesn't have a lot of options or features on it. And the Lomography Instant Automatic South Beach Edition, which has a lot of options in high quality glass. And your eyes do not deceive you. Yes, that is an instant camera mounted to a tripod, which a lot of instant cameras don't come with the threads you need to do that, but Lomography does. Like I said, it's more expensive, but it's a way better designed camera, also very, very light. And in my hand there, what you see is called a splitzer that comes with the South Beach edition. You can do some really cool shots with that, and I'm actually going to show you that probably in a video later this week. So a couple of things to say about the instant film cameras is that the genre never completely disappeared. They've been around for a while. And so head on to your local camera store and you just ask around and look at the various models. They'll have them, and yes, if you live in a big enough city, it still has a camera shop. And while I'm on it, your eyes don't deceive you here either. Yes, Polaroid does have models of monochrome film. Monochrome, self-developing pack film. For a nerd like me, that's very exciting. A couple of things I do want to say about Polaroid is it's not the only film manufacturer, and you might want to go with Instax Mini, which is produced by Fuji. Simply put, it develops way quicker, sharper contrast in color. Overall, it's just better in my opinion. Also has a higher tolerance for cold conditions. You can't use this in the cold. The film just won't develop right, and of course, if it gets cold enough, the Fuji Instax Mini film doesn't develop either. Also, I want to say that there are some really good reasons to still have an analog camera. First of all, battery life. Digital cameras and cell phones don't have the best of battery life. You put a battery or you charge an analog camera, it can quite literally last for months and go through dozens of packs. And digital cameras by comparison can be very, very finicky. I've done the whole thing where I've charged a battery up overnight, and I've known it's charged, and still I only got like 20 minutes out of it for whatever reason. You always have to have a backup. Of course, the phone on your camera, I'm sorry, the camera on your phone is what I meant to say there. Obviously it has a lot of limitations, and again, you run out of batteries. Also, too, can you take a digital picture and have it put on like an analog, physical format? You can, but the stores that are doing that are actually making picture prints are few and far between, so you're going to have to travel, and you're going to have to pay a couple dollars because people aren't getting film developed like they used to as much anymore. They're just storing it on the cloud and in their devices and whatnot. Now, can you take a Polaroid picture and digitize it? Yes, you can. It's extremely easy. And then you could do whatever you wanted with it at that point. Store it. You already have the physical copy. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I know there's a lot of disadvantages to an analog camera, and especially an instant camera, which you take the good with the bad. I'm just saying it's something you should consider, and it's great fun. Well, as always, I want to thank you. You have a great day now.